Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Muhammad Alam. I'm from TPIC. I'm here to describe what is education is. Education is part of human beings, is perhaps the most classical goal of any human civilization that ever exists or is yet to come in this world. Therefore, philosophers, educations, and great thinkers have tried their best to define education, but in most of this definition, one would find the mark of their conception of reality, valuables, and belief system. Although such definition might reflect the contemporary societal system, no single definition has been found so far that satisfies everyone. The search for a universal definition of education still continues. However, the definition of education given by the great philosophers and educationists. Education as a spiritual pursuit. The stress on education as a spiritual pursuit is basically an Indian concept. Right from the Vedic period, Indian spiritual thinkers have been propagating education as a means of achieving spiritual goals. According to the Upanishads, education is that was and product is civilization, and Andi Sankarya said, education is the realization of the self. The Rigveda says, the education is something which makes a man self-reliant and selfless. Vivekananda says, education is the manifestation of divine perfection already existing in man. All these definitions underline the perception that human beings are the creation of God. It is education whose role is to bring out the divinity already existing in man and help him to realize himself, as well as lead him to achieve civilization. Education development of innate human potentials. According to some educators, the human being is the embodiment of rich inherent potential and is stage of education to help him develop and, and realize these potentials. These innate potentials are to tap right from the birth of a child and nurtured through his growth and development of adulthood. Rousseau said, education is a child development from within. Plato propagated that education develops in the body and soul of the pupil all the beauty and all the perfection he is capable of. Wherever Froebel said, education is unfoldment of what is already unfolded in the game. It is process through which the child makes the internal external. According to Mahatma Gandhi, by education I mean on a role drawings out of the best in the child and a man body, mind and spirit. T.P. Nun says education is the complete development of the infallibility of the child, that is, he makes original contribution to human life according to the best of his capacity. A close analysis of this definition reveals the following. Human personality has different facts: physical, mental, social, and spiritual. It is task of educational to ensure harmonious and balanced development of this internet power of an individual by providing a natural and constructive environment for their growth and development. The goal of education is for ancient human resource development and education student and person. Different education and teaching. Teaching is the act of transmitting learning experience to the learner through generation of a constructive learning environment. The main purpose of teaching is to provide the learner desirable learning experience and thereby help him achieve the goals of education. Teaching is always a two-way process between the teachers and the learner, but when another element, namely the social setting or social cultural influence, is added to this process, it becomes an educative process. Hence, education is also called a three-polar process, which is three elements, namely teacher, educator, learner, educand, and the society are involved. That's all for me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.